painting in this collection, which kind of stands apart from the rest, I guess, because it's on paper.
Yes.
Why did you pull out that material that morning in the studio?
I have no idea. I think maybe I didn't have any spare canvases and didn't feel like going out shopping. Yeah. And so I have lots of paper because of doing watercolors. I have one of those, I think you have one too, one of those great big flat file things, just full of paper. And I should start using it actually. And so I just kind of did that, and I don't even know why I did a tree. I just started drawing it, you know, like with the black brush.
Absolutely.
I started drawing and filling it in with color, and I thought, oh, that looks like a tree. And so I made the oranges.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. I think the paint behaves a little bit differently on the paper.
It does.
So it has a different quality.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and a beautiful use of color.
Yes.
Did you study color theory a lot in your career?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I was at Pratt, we had 2 years of every, like 5 days a week for 2 years with Mary Pratt. She was a huge interior designer at the time, and she did a lot of the New York hotel lobbies and that.
Yeah.
She was wonderful. I just loved her. So there was a lot of color information that I learned at that time.
Mm-hmm. Did you find you had to think about it? Like, did it always come naturally to you, or do you have to make kind of conscious decisions about what's going to work?
Both. Sometimes when I start, it just comes naturally, but I'll get going and then something's wrong, and I'm not quite sure what it is, and often it's color. So then, and with acrylics, you can change the color. You know, you just paint over with another one.
Right.
It's not like watercolors. In watercolors, you put the color down and the paper's stained, and that's it. You're stuck with it.
Right.
But with acrylics, you can just keep going until you get the color balance right.
Yeah.
And it's getting that color balance just right that's the hard part.
Right. Creates kind of the harmony in the piece.
You're right. And that one there, with the cardinal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell us about that piece.
Yes, there was a dead bird. It wasn't a cardinal. Birds keep running into my window, and I put those. You know, they have those things that you stick on there.
Yeah.
They still run into my window, and so I find dead birds, and it wasn't a cardinal, but I had a picture of a cardinal.
Yeah.
So I put it in there and called it "Ode to a Cardinal." I just felt so bad about these birds.
I know.
Dying.
Yeah.
The other painting is the one down there about the artist vanishing. I started that the day that I had the doctor come to interview me about MAID, you know, medical assistance in death.
Yeah.
And I just loved him. I thought, this guy knows what he's talking about. You know, I'm not afraid at all of this. And I felt such relief because my husband went through a lot of pain at the end of his life. Yeah. And I was a bit afraid of that. Mm-hmm. And I thought, with this, if the pain gets bad, I'll call this guy and he'll just come and zap, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Because he said, you know, he could do it today if I wanted.
Right.
And I said, no, I'm okay. So that's what that one's about. And there's kind of a bit of a figure in there, which is me. And I'm kind of floating away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I'm glad that was such a positive experience for you. And it sounds like it takes an amazing person to be in that field and to, you know, be, you know, creating a positive experience as much as they can out of death, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. But it's a great painting.
Thank you.
It's a really great painting.
Thank you. I ran out and got a canvas and started painting, and I painted on it for probably 5 or 6 days. And then there were problems with it. I didn't like it, and I had to redo a lot of areas. So it's had a lot of work.
Yeah, it's different than the others in that it almost feels like you're looking kind of through a window or through all these like.
Really?
So to me, they I think it's the black in the background.
Yeah.
Kind of brings the circular shapes forward, into the foreground. Were you seeing that before you started?
No.
this different composition?
No,
No.
I did the big ovals and then the smaller ones first and started putting things in them. And then I thought, they're not standing out enough.
Yeah.
So first I put gold, kind of a gold color behind, and that wasn't right. So then I put the black, and I left little tiny bits of the gold showing. So
Nice.
I liked that.
Yeah, it's a great painting. I love it.
Thank you. No, that's not the newest one. Those two are the newest ones.
These two in the middle
Yeah.
of the wall here. Yeah, they also, they have a conversation between the two of them. They
Yes.
seem painted at the same time. What are the titles of those two? Do you remember?
That one's the Ode to the Cardinal,
Yeah.
and that one's Ode to a
Oh.
city street, is it?
Ode to a City, I think. What was that one? What did that one mean to you?
That was a street, like as if you're up in the air looking down at it. But somebody told me that they thought it was a robot. They thought it looked like a robot.
Yeah.
I thought the thing at the top was sort of like a big crane.
Oh, interesting. Like a street under construction or something.
Yes, and that's what we're finding here in London is there's always construction going on and road work
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you always lived in the city?
in London.
Yeah.
No.
No, not in London, sorry, but in a city.
Oh, yes. I lived when I was born, I lived in downtown Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and then Royal Oak, Michigan,
Yeah.
which is a small town. So it's got a city. It is kind of a city. And then New York City, and then Los Angeles, and Chicago, and Detroit, and Windsor, and London. So I've always
You've
lived
been
in the
around.
city.
Yeah.
I have. This gal's been around.